This week, Arabella will reach the clear blue waters of the Dry Tortugas. On the way there, Steve gets the needed parts to install the Autopilot, and he gets the water maker back online. They started their first leg from the 10,000 Islands and were looking to make it to Key West that same evening. Coming into Key West and on the way to meet up with Josh at the schooner Hindu to pick up the auto helm parts, it was hard to miss a familiar steel boat anchored nearby.
This is so wild. This is how the YouTube fans feel when they meet me. I wonder if Doug is home.
It was a whirlwind 24 hours in Key West, running errands and securing provisions for the long trip out to Dry Tortugas. But Doug from Seeker was able to put his drone in the air while Steve and Robin set off the next evening to sail through the night.
Alright, it's about 11:30 at night. We left Key West around 7. And we are just under, like, the most perfect, so maybe not the most perfect sail, but it's quite enjoyable. It's just blowing a consistent 15 knots to the east. We're riding a tack, just staying on a broad reach. Flying the jib, the staysail from the main, and it's really, like, quite enjoyable. The stars are magnificent, and it's like every once in a while a big roller will come and just, like, totally rock my world, and it takes me by surprise because it's, you know, obviously dark and I can't really see what's going on around me, but it's been a lovely first watch, and we're going to wake up in the Dry Tortugas.
As Fort Jefferson came into view on the horizon, another sailor radioed in, recognizing Arabella on AIS, and gave the crew some good advice on where to anchor and what not to miss during their week stay in Dry Tortugas.
There's also a set on the south side that's not worth it. That's where everyone goes. One's on the north side. Only about 8 feet of water, but incredible fish life.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Really appreciate the info.
We made it.
We made it. This is as far as we can go.
I don't know if it's as far as we can go.
It's as far as we can go this season and with Akiva.
Yeah, all right. There's a fair limitations there.
Okay. I think once we learned that we can't really bring Akiva, like, pretty much anywhere.
Well, I mean, we can. It's just, it's another set of complications.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is a really, really cool destination. I'm really glad we made it here.
Yeah, when we bailed on Puerto Rico, I feel like you were like, all right, I
Yeah.
want to go to the Tortugas then.
Yeah.
And I feel like for a while you were like, yes, we're going to get to the Tortugas. And then I feel like you were like, we're not going to make it to the Tortugas.
I didn't think there was any way. Yeah. So this is a pleasant surprise. I'm very happy. But we're anchored here. And
Yeah, at Garden Key.
we basically have a 1 mile radius of Garden Key, which is where we're anchored, where we can fish, we can snorkel, we can bring
Overnight
Victoria.
anchor.
You can overnight anchor, we can drop the hook on Victoria. So yeah, we've got, today is our calmest but cloudiest day.
Yep.
So I think the plan was to take Victoria over to Brick Wreck and Bird Key Bank and do some snorkeling over here. And then tomorrow we'll take Arabella, we'll anchor in the morning, and then bring Arabella over to Loggerhead Key where there's a mooring ball we can pick up for the day.
Okay.
And then over here is the Africa Reef, which is supposed to be really excellent snorkeling. All right, that's 50. Oh, those look like bricks.
This looks real sandy here on anchor.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, Victoria's bow line there. Just make sure we got a good big patch of sand here. All right, throw it.
Just right off the deck.
Yep. All right. So we are drifting away from the fort.
Okay.
That is something to be conscientious of.
Okay. Quickly.
Quickly. Oh, anchor's grab.
Yeah. There we go.
Our mini mantis.
Small but mighty.
Small but mighty. It's snug. Snorkel. Wetsuit, which we probably don't need, but comfortable. Dive flag. All right. I got tired of Robin, so she's getting towed. So 1 out of 10, how did Africa Reef stack up?
Oh, like 25. It was so cool. It was way better than I expected it to be. I think that was the second we got in the water. It's like boom, tropical fish, another tropical fish, barracuda, lobster, tropical fish, purple coral. The whole time we were in there.
Yeah,
there
it was
wasn't
really
a second
cool.
there was like not even a second that we weren't looking at something unbelievably cool. Insane.
Like 99.9% sure I can't land this thing, but I'm gonna try.
honey, what is your plan if you catch this thing?
Let it go. Akiva's just laying out there watching the sunset. Valve is open at least half a turn. The sampling valve is set to the sample position. The brine line is able to freely... Can I help you?
Yeah. What are you doing?
Trying to get the water maker back online.
Ooh.
We're now finally in clear water and shall continue to be in clear water.
It'd be nice to get that up and running again.
Yeah, and this has been high on my honey-do list. So
I just heard you mumbling from the bathroom, which is unusual.
Yeah. So I got our instructions here. Just going through things. This has been pickled and stored since we left the boat to go back to my mom's. So we've got a new charcoal filter here to put in, and we've got a new pre-filter to put in, and we need to flush this to send all the chemicals out. So the charcoal filter protects the membrane. The membrane is super sensitive to chlorine. So if you pick up water at a dock or something, it's chlorinated, and you use that to flush your system, you'll end up damaging your membrane. So Spectra says this should get replaced every 6 months. So this is the 20 micron pre-filter. And we'll switch this out as well, because this is pretty old. Yeah, it's filthy. Can we turn on the freshwater pump again?
Yep.
So that right now is taking salt water and just running it through the system and flushing out those storage chemicals. So let's go check and make sure we're running under 35 psi, and then we can set a timer for an hour. And here's our gauge. So we're running just over 20 psi, so we're definitely under our 35.
Cool.
Right?
Yep.
10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Each one is 5.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we are done our 1 hour flush. And let's close the pressure valve and see if we start making fresh water. All right, pressure valve is closed, and we should start to hear the pressure come up. So we'll let this run for a couple minutes, and then we'll check the salinity, and if the salinity seems good, we'll put it in our tanks, and we're back up and running making water. check the salinity. So 165 parts per million, 166.
What is the parts per million supposed to be?
I'd have to look, but I think it's like 500 or 700.
So like under that is probably
Yeah, I think like
good.
under 5 or 700. We'll have to look real quick. You can taste it too. Yeah, not a hint of salt. Wanna try?
Yep. Do I need to like swirl it? And
Swirl it, yeah.
Smell the bouquet.
I mean, kinda. If it smells like sour or rotten, something's wrong. If it tastes salty, something's wrong, but
Tastes great.
perfect.
I love it.
Shut off the SETI, shut off the nav. We'll leave the head tank on. Switch our valve. And now we're filling the water tank in the head.
Nice.
All right.
Thank you, honey. Tried to get the autopilot set up in Booth Bay before we left for the run south, and I didn't realize that the Garmin kind of power arm for the tiller has to be mounted below decks, and that's not an option on Arabella. And it took a little bit of figuring and some calls to figure out what would work. So I ended up ordering a pelagic power arm here, and this will work with the Garmin, but it requires a rudder feedback sensor. So you put the sensor on the tiller, it knows where that is in time and space, and this is the actuator that would move the tiller arm accordingly. So the issue that I'm running into is that this unit has 10 inches of stroke. So if you're at center, you can go 5 inches to port or 5 inches to starboard. So where this unit wants to be mounted is where this blue tape here is. So what we essentially would need to do is build some sort of bracket so that this can get put out here. Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine trying to put this out here and put the screw in while the boat's all bouncing around. That would be awful.
This would just have to, it would just have to live there. I mean, even putting it on and off sitting here at a perfectly calm anchorage is, it'd be one thing if the cockpit went back to where like the lazarette is and you were actually like sitting right there and it was closer, but yeah, I don't like it. But there doesn't seem to be a better solution. I know we can put a wind vane on the boat, which I would like to do at some point anyways, and then we can get a much lighter actuator that steers via the wind vane. But I don't know exactly how well that would work under motor or in a really sporty sea state, or I know it's often used as kind of a backup if the main autopilot fails. You can do it through the wind vane, but I don't know if that's how we want our primary autopilot to be. But if Robin and I are gonna go do bigger miles, hand steering, all of them is pretty untenable. And I've already purchased an entire Garmin Reactor 40 kit that I can't return. And now we've purchased the pelagic and the rudder feedback sensor, which I don't think I'm going to be able to return. So kind of hemorrhaging money and hoping to leave in another month and rake the run north. So kind of have a few weeks to get this figured out. And yeah, I'm feeling pretty beat. I hope somebody's got a good solution for us, because I'm stumped.